What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us today on Stay Busy TV. I'm Seb, this is my brother Greg. On Stay Busy TV, we will be interviewing entrepreneurs and experts and other like-minded business people about networking, its importance, and the connections they made to propel themselves in their career.
Hey, our first guest is Sean Milliken, 10-year firefighter in the city of Boston. Last year, he opened up his first store for his brand, For Boston, that's been seen and worn by David Pasternak, Terry Rozier, Danny Amendola, Brooks Koepka, and a few other people. He's also made high school jerseys for Dana Barros, Chris Herron, Patrick Ewing, and others. We're going to chop it up with him and see how networking helped him build to where he's at and how he'll continue to build moving forward. So come with us. How you doing, guys? We're here today with Sean Milliken at his spot, For Boston, in the north end of Boston. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. Sean, full-time firefighter in the city for 10 years. Started making his hats about 5 years ago, just at his house, and now we're standing inside, creation of his and his hustle, and we're here to just talk about how he got from making hats at his house to being worn by professional athletes. So just, tell us a little bit about how you got from, just the basic hats.
Yeah, so I was in the military for 4 years. I was in the Navy. When I was in the Navy, I linked with like 4 kids on my ship, and we kind of made like a little crew. So we'd make like music, beats, design stuff, all that. And when I got out of the military, I just had an idea. I had a bunch of ideas, but I had an idea for a hat, and just made 50 hats, and it kind of just evolved into this.
From there. And do you still network and stay in touch with those 4 people from your ship?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. You guys still create together?
Not as much. I mean, my boy Mouse, he's in New York doing his thing. BT, Complex Con, all that stuff. My other friend, Alameen, he's a Jersey City firefighter. And then my other friend, Scratchzilla, still makes beats, still has a studio in Virginia. So,
right.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so you said you made your first 50 hats and started selling them from there. What was like your first step, for anybody who's thinking about making some merch or thinking about their own branding, how did you get from just your house to out into the world?
So I had an iPad that I would design on, like using Sketchbook, like simple app. So I had like years worth of designs, and then I'd go online to like, design your own t-shirt, stuff like that. You get ripped off, paying like $50 to make one tee.
Right.
And then my friend from Savin Hill, Tony King, owns a screen printing shop, Beantown Athletics, reached out to me, and he was like, I rock with what you're making and what you wear, like, let's start something. He's like, do you have any ideas? I'm like, bro, I have 5 years worth of ideas. So we started with one hat, made 50 of them, and
We're talking about the logo.
yeah.
Because not everyone, but a lot of people know the famous Supreme square logo.
Yeah.
And you were mentioning how you had it, the Boston Acoustics original logo, and you and your boys from New York would battle back and forth.
Yeah, so half of my family's from New York City. My mother's from Ridgewood, Queens, New York. So growing up, and my father's like Boston to the core.
Right.
So beefing with, that side of the family was like, talking junk about A-Rod, Jeter, the Red Sox. And then my cousins were skaters. So, I mean, I rock with Supreme.
Right.
But they've been around since like 94. And I would always say like, yo, Boston did this first.
Right.
And Boston Acoustics was a speaker company from the 80s. So one of my ideas was to bring it back and put it on a hat. And people rocked with it.
Right.
So.
Right. Nice. And then you got your hats. You started going. You know, you mentioned to us how many thousands of hats you've made now.
That's my mom, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Wild. Which is amazing. Like, it just shows everyone how working on something that you love from your house, small time, you stick with it. It just continues to build and build and build. And, you know, look at this now. Edelman, Terry Rozier, Brooks Koepka, top 3 golfer in the world.
Yeah,
like,
that's right.
you know, rocking the stuff.
Funny story about Brooks.
Yeah, let's
How
hear
he got a
it.
hat. So he grew up in Florida,
Got it.
and apparently one of his best friends growing up was going to UMass Boston,
Yep.
and they came in here, bought like a bunch of hats, and then Brooks had like a private jet, flew him out to Vegas for like a bachelor party for his boy, and I guess the kid that was staying in the room with Brooks had some of the hats, and he woke up and Brooks stole the hat. And then after he won like the U.S. Open or whatever,
Right.
it's a picture of him in the hat.
Yeah.
And I was like, how the hell did you get this? You know?
Amazing.
Yeah, crazy. But I FaceTimed with him and stuff. He's like, send me stuff. And this dude has like a deal with Nike, bro.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
Exactly. All about the networking. All about the networking.
Going back to the production of the hats and the actual involvement of your mother, when you look at your brand being out in the public, what does that feel like to know that it's kind of been developed in-house by your own family? That must mean something to you.
Yeah, I mean, I get my whole creativeness, like, since I was a kid from her. You know what I mean? She can do anything. Like, she sews, she knits, she can make baskets, like, she can make anything. And that's where I get, like, my creativeness from. And, you know, when I started with the first 50 hats, I was getting like a kind of like a heat press backing on the labels and like a hat heat press. And my mom was like, I can sew that. You know? So like after the first 50, my mom like was just sewing labels. You know? And she just wants to see me win. So
dope. We can resonate with that because we both come from, obviously we're brothers, so we come from the same mom, the single mom house, and it's been the same, you know, pain in the butt that we've been, but she's always been. I know that you guys are going to win, so I'm gonna stay backing you, even through you know the tough
support you
times.
100.
Yeah, which is dope. So then moving on, obviously we just named some of the professional athletes that have rocked the gear and just the different crazy coincidental ways that they all got it. Talk to us about just some other player relationships you have and how you got those.
So like the first hat I ever gave a professional athlete was Milan Lucic. So since I'm a firefighter on Hanover Street, a lot of the Bruins live in the neighborhood. And it was like right after they won the cup and they were like marching around with the Stanley Cup and stuff. And my boy Frankie, who I'm partners with, I knew he was friends with him. So I mentioned to him, I said, you know, I made these 50 hats. Can you give one to Milan and see if they rock with it? So I gave one to him, and all of a sudden all the Bruins wanted them. And then they all started wearing them. So it was kind of like, okay.
Right.
Yeah, it's all been organic. Like,
Exactly.
I'm not paying athletes, I'm not forcing people to wear stuff.
Right.
It's just they rock with it.
They rock with it because it is that spirit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just that hometown, you're doing it the organic way. So I'm sure they feel, you know, that.
Yeah,
that,
and
that
I feel
spirit.
like the other, like streetwear shops or brands in the city, nobody's just like, this is Boston.
Right.
Like everything is Boston. It's, you know, they have their little side labels where they make shirts and stuff,
Mhm.
but then they're selling Nike, Adidas, like all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And I was like, why can't there just be a little store where it's like all Boston based? It's all collabs with local kids that get no shine from these other places, and kind of just build that
Yeah.
community.
Which just brings it back to more networking and wanting to see
Yeah.
everybody build together.
And then you help out, you make those relationships, and you help, like, you know, I'm big involved with the up and coming music scene, and you know what I mean? Say one of those kids pops off,
Right.
he's always gonna remember, like, Sean
Yep.
showed me love from day one,
Absolutely.
and oh, you're in Boston, like, go see Sean.
Right.
Or oh, you need merch, like, go see Sean.
Yeah.
You know?
And you got the new stuff with Cousin Stiz, and he's, you know, up and coming, popping Boston artist.
Cousin Stiz is killing it.
Right.
Like, signed to RCA, like, killing it.
Right.
Like, new album, he's just, that dude's killing it.
Shout out to Stiz, by the way.
And to go back to reaching out to your partner Frankie, who gave the hat to Milan, there's a lot of people who do have stuff going, and they just are scared or nervous to just take that step because they don't want to offer something and then be like, actually, you know what, I'm good. But reaching out to people and doing that, you never know. And look, you had one Bruin willing to wear the hat,
Yeah.
and then, like you said, you turn around again and all the Bruins are wearing the hats.
Well, I mean, all these big brands, like, why do you think all these dudes get free stuff?
Right.
It's part of their marketing is they see product to
Mhm.
people for free.
Exactly.
So, you know what I mean? You're a rapper, you're somebody, a celebrity, they just see you. That's why they get all free stuff.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
they wear it, and then it influences a bunch of other people to be like, oh.
Absolutely. But be willing to do that. Like, that's
Yeah, I mean,
That's
when
a
I
big-
first gave him the hat, it was like, I didn't know if he was gonna wear it.
right.
I
Exactly.
didn't know if he was gonna throw it in the trash, but it's whatever, bro.
Right. Yeah.
If you could just like share a word or two for the young man or the young woman that's watching this and is very creative, wants to design their own stuff, just kind of a word, tip for advice, what would it be?
Not to be Nike, bro, but just do it.
Love that.
Like,
I like that.
like, seriously, bro. Like, you have an idea, anything, just put it out there.
Mhm.
Who cares? If people rock with it, cool. If not, that's cool. At least you rock with it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
The second on that, have there ever been any moments or roadblocks where you kind of have the fear of putting your own art out to the world, or
Oh, definitely, bro.
yeah,
It's like some days you're like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And other days you're like, I'm gonna chop everybody's head off with this.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So
Absolutely.
that's just, I feel like that's part of being a creative. You go, it's like a roller coaster. Like some days you're just like, oh man, I'm gonna put this out, but like, I don't know, are people gonna talk shit? But
Right.
then you're just like, fuck them. Like I
Mhm.
rock with it.
Right.
Like
absolutely.
who cares?
Mhm.
Yep.
You can't be influenced by what other people think.
Right.
No way.
Just do you.
Love that.
Absolutely.
So you've made the hats. You make some tees. I'll just be upfront. My personal, I'm a basketball dude. Like,
Same.
grew up playing ball, love ball. So that's the kind of stuff that resonates well with me. The local high school jerseys of the legends that you make,
Yeah.
fire. The concept is so original and dope. Talk to us about where that idea came from, and you've now done live shoots with Chris Herron, with Dana Barros, and speaking with you before, you already have some more lined up that you're getting ready to do. That's big moves. Talk to us about that networking and how those doors opened up.
Well, growing up, my dad used to take me to the Boston Shootout when I was a kid before high school, and it was like I was in awe, bro. It was the best basketball
Right.
I've ever seen in my life.
Right.
Live, best dunk contest, best everything, and Chris Herron he was my favorite player. My dad took me to a state tournament game I want to say it was at UMass Boston or BCI or something. I think it was Durfee, New Bedford, bro.
Wow.
And New Bedford comes out, all, you know, there's dudes like 6'7", 6'8", you know, like jamming it and all that. And then Durfee comes out like shaved heads, all these little scrawny like white dudes. And I was like, these guys are gonna get smoked. And I remember in the layup line, they're doing the layup line, they're doing the taps, and Heron was the last one. And he goes up and he just buffs it. And I was like, who is that? You know, and I was just like, so I followed his career ever since then. When he went to BC and got in some trouble, and then when he went to Fresno State, I used to stay up and watch those late night games on ESPN2.
Mm-hmm.
And I was dudes at Cameron Indoor pulling up like right over half court, and just him and Skip to my Lou, like all that, bro.
Yep.
Like I had his Rolling Stone pictures on my wall.
Yep.
And I tried to emulate him when I played.
Right.
And then once I started the brand, I'm like, I gotta do like a Heron jersey. Like that was my guy. And you know, I just bought blanks, screen printed, put them out, sent him one, hit him up. And then once I linked with PETA that does all the quality stuff, and has the plug for that, and does all the inner city schools.
Right.
I did the Heron off rip, the Ewing, and then Chris hit me right away. He's like, let's do a Durfee jersey.
Yep.
I was like, bro, say less.
Yeah.
Like, let's go.
Love
So it's just crazy. Like, that dude was one of my idols growing up, and now he's like my friend.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Exactly.
There's a jersey on your wall in your own store. That's great.
yeah.
Perfect. And then us being from Fall River, I mean, it just, you know, hits right to the core.
And what he's doing with the recovery community and all that, like,
Unbelievable.
dude turned his whole life around.
It's unbelievable.
It's crazy.
Definitely one of the best stories in sports. And now his son's out here balling,
Yeah, man.
doing his thing.
Even his youngest is
Yeah.
gonna be nice too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. And then you got the Dana Barros one coming out, linked with him.
Yeah, I just did. So after Chris shot everything, and then I had my buddy Gilad that runs Shadow Lion Productions, which does all like the TV12 and the Brady stuff, shoot like a mini doc video. All of a sudden, and then since it's for Boston, the brand, I wanted to do 4 jerseys each summer, like release 4 jerseys.
Yep.
You know, called the Boston Legends, and just do all these throwbacks that you can't get at Mitchell and Ness.
Right.
And I just hit Dana on Twitter, and I was like, "You ready?" He's like, "Yep, like, let's go." I hit up Scooney, I hit up Wayne, and they were all down. So just trying to line it all up with their schedule
Right.
and all that.
Talk to me about, you know, because everybody can relate to a situation like this at some point. I mean, we even have them building what we're building. Getting yourself to reach out to the person, you know, sometimes you have that when you're sitting and you're like I don't want to get rejected, or you know, what if they say no, or who am I to reach out to this person?
Yeah.
But you have to. Like, it's the only way that you're gonna grow. So did you ever come up against that internally? And if you did, you know, what did you say to yourself to just push through that?
Trying to think. I mean, off rip, I just started hitting like local. I reached out to like Static Selector.
Got it.
I was just like, yo, like I started this stuff. Can I get your address? Send you something.
Right.
You know what I mean? Something easy as that. I don't know. Now, I mean, people hit me up,
Right.
like young kids trying to do their thing.
Yep.
And I try to answer everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, hell yeah, like pull up. Like you guys hit me, pull up.
Yep.
Like, let's make it happen.
Absolutely.
You just got to be a good dude. Don't be looking for favors, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Just be a regular good dude.
Right.
If you come off on like some fake stuff, like people see that.
Yeah. Sniff it right out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're just a regular guy, like trying to make it, like people are gonna. They're
Right.
gonna see that.
Right. There's definitely when you really believe in what it is you're doing also. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I'm not scared to reach out to like someone major,
Right.
and then be like, not even hit me back.
Yeah.
Okay,
So on
just
to the
keep
next
it
one.
moving.
Right. On to the next
You know
one.
what I mean?
Nice. So, could you tell us a few things that maybe you have like in the works that you now are trying to network to maybe do your next thing or expand out?
Yeah, like although I mean, you have what 5 major sneaker brand headquarters in the city.
Yep.
Like you have a bunch of stuff. Like Boston's just building. Like you have all this opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
But then talking with people that work for these big corporations, a lot of the people that are like the guys that say yes or no
Yeah.
are like out of the loop.
Right.
So it's good to see guys like local guys like Frank the Butcher at Reebok. So like if you see the dope collabs that like Reebok does, that's like Frank the Butcher. Like, you know what I mean? So you need like local people that know what's going on in the streets and
Yeah.
what people are rocking with to be in a position to be like, yo, like, let's do something with this.
Right. Right.
I mean, they could be doing so much dope shit in Boston, but I mean, they're doing some stuff, but they could be doing a lot more, in my opinion.
Right. Nice. All right, thank you for your time today.
Yeah, no.
You know, we're gonna end there. Check it out. Keep supporting this dude. Thank you for your time. And remember, stay busy, never stationary.